So, Amira, tell us a little bit as far as how counseling has been helpful.
Okay. So for this question, I sort of asked, since I knew that this question ahead of time, I went around and I asked all the counselors, because all of the counselors that we have worked with victims of trafficking, and so I knew that they would each have a different outlook on how counseling has been helpful, especially depending on the background of the victim and different factors like that. So I kind of compiled a short list of how counseling has been helpful. So first of all, really basic thing is that it provides education to the victims, meaning in counseling they can learn about what is trafficking, am I a victim, and then they can learn about the effects of this sort of forced power and control on a person. So the education element is one of the first things that we do and one of the big parts of it. Counseling helps our clients deal with feelings of guilt and shame, low self-esteem, and it's an opportunity to be in an environment where they're not being judged about anything that happened, an environment where we believe them and where we're listening to them and where we're here really for them, and it's really one of the first opportunities in a long time that they've been in a situation where somebody has been there just to listen to them and to help them, and is not trying to victimize them in any way. So it's usually one of the first opportunities that they can really tell their story and know that they're going to be believed, believed for what they're saying. Another thing counseling can help with is reintegration back into society. That's sort of one of the effects that would come later, I guess, after dealing with the feelings and after dealing with the trauma, how to get back into society and lead the kind of life that you'd like to live, such as going back to school and making friends, possibly reconnecting with family if that's something that you want to do. And then if there's a trial or there's a hearing that the client has to be involved with, if they have to testify against the trafficker, for example, that's usually a really terrifying situation. So in counseling, they're able to not only kind of deal with their fear and their anxiety about that situation, but they also feel supported throughout that process. Then there's also, in counseling, they're able to work through their trauma, obviously, and regain a sense of control over themselves and over their life, and then they can learn to feel empowered again. And then really the last thing, and obviously this list isn't exhaustive, but one of the other things is that counseling helps them really see what were the situations that were in their life and in their background that made them more vulnerable to being trafficked in the first place. I think it's really important that our clients understand that, because there is so much self-blame and I did this and everything like that, where they sort of lose sight of how it all happened in the first place. So I think it's really important that they understand where they came from and what were the specific elements in their life that made them more susceptible and more vulnerable to being lured into that kind of a lifestyle. So those are, I would say, the main things that people gain from counseling.
Well, thank you.